Braving the town centre, trying to keep a sensible distance from everyone else, weaving my way through the obstacle course, hitching my mask up when it slips down. I see someone sat outside Greg's on the ground, hunched all alone, huddled up in their coat. Their sleeping bag crumpled, their visage obscured, a pitiful pile of coins at their feet. When they're asked for money, whether or not it is true, most people usually say, I don't have any change, but today it is true in my case with all of this shit going on. In the past, I've sometimes helped people who were in similar looking circumstances. Instead of giving them money, I tend to offer to buy them something to eat. So with cash being almost useless these days, what do I think is the best thing to do? I could just walk past like everyone else, or ask them whether they want my help. Hello there? They look up dubiously. I don't have any change, but if you like, I could get you
Hang on,
something to eat.
can I just explain something to you and you won't get offended? I have turned down today no fewer than 20 sausage rolls. People just don't think when they're trying to be helpful, righteous souls. I can't eat all their gifts at once, and if I kept them, they'd go bad. And these people seem to think I can live off junk food. They're all mad. And I didn't ask for anything in the first place, I hope you noticed. So I appreciate you just trying to help, but you can understand me protest.
While they carry on talking, I silently sift through my possible responses. I realise you didn't ask, that's why I checked before going. It wouldn't be sensible to get you something unprompted without knowing. And if you'd said yes, I would have asked what it was you wanted from Greg's or indeed somewhere else. No, I'm not affronted. I don't get to say all that, but managed to clarify the gist.
Well, okay. If you really want to help, excuse me being blunt, offers of food make me frustrated. You know what would be appreciated?
What?
Gift card from Sainsbury's.
Surprise.
That way, in my own good time, when my hunger starts to climb, I can go to the shops myself and get something useful off the shelf.
Well, as it happens, I'm going to Sainsbury's anyway. I'd be happy to get you a card if you want. What do you say?
Look, it's entirely up to you. I'm not telling you what to do. Do it if you want to. Don't do it if not.
Okay, I'll be back soon. It's hard to read their expression as I leave. Are they grateful I listened or just relieved to get rid of me? So, braving Sainsbury's, still trying to keep a sensible distance from hitching my mask, weaving my way through everyone else, slipping the obstacle course up and down. I get my own shopping, then it takes a good while to decipher the ancient, mysterious language of gift cards of which I have virtually no experience. What the hell does this mean? Independent decision alert! I didn't even realise there'll be different kinds to choose from. Electronics? That's no good. Wine? Hardly what they need. Boxes of chocolates? Come on, there must be something useful. Ah, that's a general one. That'll have to do. Now, what am I supposed to do with it?
Please take this card to the till, where a colleague will activate it. This cannot be done at the self-checkout.
Why is this so complicated? Beep. Stuff everything into my beep. Trying to beep. Causing along beep. Also beep. Any new plastic beep. Doing my beep. With a good old beep.
And how much would you like on there?
Me? Another independent decision alert. £10?
All done for you.
£10, is that a normal amount? Will they think I'm being tight? Will they sense weakness and ask for more? Or did I get it right? Pay by contactless. All done. Slowly make my way back to the place where they still sit alone. When they see I'm back, their eyes go wide in pleasant surprise. Hi, hopefully this can be of good use. There's £10 on there for you to spend. They take it, open mouth.
Wow, I really mean this, yeah. Thank you.
They tap it with purpose, looking me in the eye.
Now that won't get thrown in the bin.
I smile, unsure what to say.
Is there anything you'd like to know?
Hey? Independent decision alert again! What do I want to know? We could start with, what's your name? Or what will you buy with that card? What led up to your homelessness? How long has it been? Is it hard? How often do you manage to eat? Do you have anyone other than strangers? Do you want any drugs or alcohol? How do you cope with dangers? No, I don't think so. Another slight widening of eyes in
Because
surprise.
someone like me, you're bound to think addicted to drugs and or drink, because in 90% of cases it's true. By chance, I'm one of the remaining few.
I didn't assume that.
Well, you're right to.
You may be right with those stats, I think, but generally I found it's the being homeless that causes the addiction rather than the other way round. They launch into a long explanation of how they got in this situation. As I stand there, watched by passers-by, I drink it all in, but rarely reply.
So, due to a set of circumstances completely outside of my own control, I was relocated to a temporary home, and I was forced to live off the dole. Then, out of the blue, council sent me an unexpected bill.
What for?
Exactly. Those power-hungry conglomerate toffs conjure cash out of thin air. That money didn't exist before, but suddenly it did because they said it was there.
Yes, I saw a video on that online. It's called the Tinkerbell effect. Things become true because we believe them, like money having value or your sudden death.
Right. So, the letter had all the usual threats. Non-payment will result in your eviction or going to court. And I thought, that stuff doesn't happen in real life, only in fiction.
But it did happen.
Aye. So, I called the number, and they told me to go to the good old Citizens Advice Bureau. But it was clear when I went to pay them a call that they were willing to do precisely sod all.
I make that sort of half smile, half shrug, which conveys sympathy without confirming whether or not you agree.
Now, I tell you what.
I find myself making that gesture a lot throughout the ensuing tirade, with all sorts of controversial views through which I uncomfortably wade. Racism, privilege, class structure, exploitation of the poor, silencing, prejudice, land ownership, capitalism, and law.
What do you think?
What do I think? I think this is at least the fourth independent decision alert resulting from an attempt to do good by a well-meaning introvert. I think you've been speaking at such great lengths on subjects I don't know so well that the extent to which I agree with you is honestly hard to tell. I think the majority of what you've said at least makes sense to me, but that's not to say it necessarily applies universally. I think if I showed an ounce of support for your view on Black Lives Matter, even if I made it perfectly clear that I'm only lending a sympathetic ear and merely expressing my understanding how, given your lot, you reached that standing, my reputation would be in tatters. So, braving the reply and trying to keep a sensible distance from the touchy topics, weaving my way through the controversies, making sure I don't slip and fall down, I explain I'm a regular charity donor, giving as much as I can afford, which admittedly isn't a lot, but hoping it'll have a bit of impact.
Ah, good. You know, I used to spend a few nights in homeless shelter up street, but with how much the others shout and fight, you don't feel safe and you can't get any sleep. Greg's have been known to give me a leftover bag of snacks at the end of the day, but if I ate them all, I'd be this big. I'd have to throw half of them away. A woman once gave me a big tin of biscuits, as in 500 grams in metal box. But no one seems to spare any thought, because it's off their hands after it's bought, and they're not interested in my retort, and I don't have a cupboard or a fridge or a freezer or anything else to make it easier. I have to carry the damn thing round, a burden that's heavy and makes a sound. It's not worth a few nice jokes.
Yeah, common sense.
Have you ever tried sleeping out for one of your charities?
Have I ever tried sleeping out? There are loads of answers I could give, each as pathetic as the last, and all relating to things I did in the distant past. I often used to go on camping trips down in Kent, and sometimes spent the night in my own garden in a tent. Once, in a thought-provoking sketch, I played a homeless youth to encourage kids to do a sponsored sleep out, but embarrassingly, the truth is that I didn't participate, so what else could I say? As a depressed teenager, I honestly expected to be homeless one day, so I did some mental preparation, but didn't actually go as far as putting it into practice, so the simple answer is no.
Well, if you do ever fancy trying it, Do it in the winter. When it's 5 or 10 below zero. When the cold cuts right through 2 sleeping bags, your sleeping bag liner, your coat, your clothes, even your skin. Right down to the bones. That's the only time you can truly experience what it's really like to be homeless.
What do I say to that? What can I say? Gotta say something. Well, I hope that card can be of good use to you. Didn't I say that earlier?
Yeah, well, as I said, that won't get thrown in the bin.
I wish you all the best.
And to you.
Have a good day? What kind of insensitive, thoughtless wish is that? Have a good day if you can. They nod, and I start on my way with a lot to think about. What an extraordinary encounter that was. 2 total strangers talking and talking on all sorts of subjects for I don't know how long, neither one knowing the other's name. And they didn't once mention my hair, my face, my hands, my voice, my posture, my clothes. Did they not notice, or do they just have no problem with talking to people like me? Or under the circumstances, was it just irrelevant, since there were things of more weight to consider than how I presented myself, or my anatomy or identity?
Am I talking to lad or lass? I don't know, it don't matter. They do what they can to help. Listen to what I have to say.
Were they homeless due to their own actions, or just unfortunate circumstances? I don't know, and it doesn't matter. I made an effort to do a good deed and play my part for a person in need.